But listen, right now, you need to understand this one thing. If you are saved, and I hope you are, your body very well could die before the Lord returns. But make no mistake, if you believe the gospel, you will be raised incorruptible. Right? See, it's got to die. But there are people, and this is, look, I mean, I'm torn between this. I'll tell you why. Because the rapture scares me. It doesn't scare everybody, it scares me. Like I brought up this morning, the day that Noah entered into the ark, he condemned the world. When Lot left Sodom, he condemned that city to destruction. When we leave this earth, God's going to pour out wrath that's never been seen. That's why it's called the Great Tribulation and the Tribulation and everything else. Right? And yet we've got this loose-lipped Christianity that thinks it's, oh, well, I'm going with the upper taker, not the undertaker. And it seems good in theory, but I know people that haven't trusted in Jesus, and when they see the Antichrist, they're probably going to trust in that. They're going to fall for the signs, the lying wonders. And for this cause, God will also send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. And listen, when that door's shut, it's going to be hard for them to get saved. And not only that, some of them, look, everybody, we have this really weird mentality of the end times. Like people are actually going to live through it, like a lot of people. Man, when the first hammer starts to drop, people are going to die by the millions, if not billions. God is not messing around. And we think, oh, well, maybe they'll live through it, and millennial reign of Christ comes, and we'll see him again, and, it's all going to work out well for us. Look, it scares me to death. There's people I love that I know when God pulls me out of the way, there's a good chance they may not make it through the first 3 or 4 days. Right? And I was thinking about this as I was driving to church tonight, and maybe I've got a morbid mentality of things, but how many of you know who Peter Ruckman is? Okay. You know, Peter Ruckman a long time ago preached something about at the rapture that, your blood's going to be left behind. How many of you knew this? Because flesh and blood can't inherit the kingdom of God. But I really started thinking about this as I'm on my way to church tonight. And I'm thinking, God gives people blood to drink. Where does that blood come from in the tribulation time? Because they're worthy to drink it. When you really start thinking about the end times, it ought to scare you to tell somebody about Jesus. On your way home, you better pick up the phone. You better tell somebody, look, I'm sorry. I'm just neglected this for so long, but I love you. I'm sorry. I forgot. I don't care what the excuse is, but I just got to tell you about Jesus right now. I just got to give you the gospel. You do with it what you want. Just plant that seed in them tonight on your way home. You just call them and tell them, look, hey, and if you are saved, please, can we just talk about your testimony for a second? Please, I just got to tell you about Jesus for a minute. I got to give you my testimony because you need to know, and I don't want you to believe in vain. I want to see you again. Right? That makes sense. Look, when we're taken out of here, this world's in trouble. It ain't better. It ain't better. There's going to be a lot of death and destruction. You think things are getting hot now? You think Florida's hot now? You think global warming's taking place now? You think climate change is taking place now? Read Revelation chapter number 16. There's a lot of change taking place. A lot of change. Terrifying change. Unfortunately, there's going to be too many people that are left to deal with it. Well, I know they chose their own way. Look, hey, listen. There are people that are going to be there that I love, and I wish they'd accept Jesus now. I don't want them to go, I don't want them to even be put in the opportunity. I don't want them to even be having to make the choice. Make the choice now. Right? I want to look, I already made the choice. I'm saved, I'm sealed, I'm delivered. But there are people in my family and people I care about, they need to make that decision now because it may be eternally too late. Well, maybe halfway through they might trust Jesus. What if they don't? What if wormwood falls right on top of them as they're in their cruise liner having a good time, thinking everything's going to be okay, and it's just a little climate change, and, leaf blowers and gas packs and all this stuff is just destroying the environment, and the economy's messed up, but hey, I'm doing good. Let's go on a cruise. And meteors fall out of the sky, or talents. Right? End times isn't a game. I don't think it's a game. It really is not. We need to get a perspective. We're not taught anymore about the perspective of Revelation chapter number 8, chapter number 9, chapter number 16. Those you never hear about in church anymore. Right? Never hear it. You'll never hear anybody sitting there preaching about the wrath of God. You're only going to hear about the love of God. And I am all about the love of God. Oh my goodness, because of the love of God, I'm saved.